Just wanted to upload a quick progress update. If you're new here, I'm currently in the process of solo section hiking the Florida Trail System. So from Key West, the southernmost point of the continental US, all the way up to Pensacola, Florida. Now, this includes the official Florida National Scenic Trail, plus all the connecting routes, some spur trails, and any offshoots along the way that I think might be interesting to hike or bike. Now, this is the first trail uh, in my long term goal of hiking all 11 national scenic trails in the US. So, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm actually taking a brief hiatus from the Florida Trail. Right now, the trail has just the sections of trail that I'm trying to complete next have just gotten too far away from where I live for weekend section hiking, which is what I've been doing. So, it's just not really practical anymore. So getting to and from trailheads now takes a lot more time commitment and coordination, more than I can squeeze into a weekend or a long weekend, unfortunately. With that being said, though, I do have a nomadic lifestyle shift planned next year that I think should actually help me finish the trail while working full time. So stay tuned for that. On top of that, the weather has been changing pretty fast down here, and it's just become extremely hot and humid going into peak summer season down here in Florida. So, not only is the temp and humidity awful, but the bugs are out in full force. Rainy season is ramping up, so the thunderstorms are really unpredictable down here. And also, I've been planning an international trip this year as well, so I need more time to focus my attention towards that. The progress I've made so far, I want to cover that. I've spent a total of 24 days on trail, hiking and biking a combined total mileage of 596 miles, which puts me at about 34% complete toward my goal for this trail. Now, in terms of cost, I've spent just under $3,000 so far, which is definitely more than I expected. Uh, Most of that went to car rentals, insurance, gas, Ubers to and from the trailheads, groceries, trail meals, and a bunch of like random little incidentals that added up pretty quickly while solo section hiking this. So uh, that was very alarming and surprising at the same time. I just want to cover some of the lessons learned real quick while hiking this trail so far. First up, clip your toenails before you start hiking. I made that rookie mistake. Trust me. Shoes. When it comes to shoes, you do not want shoes that'll hold water and weigh you down for this trail. Right. You want them light and easily light shoes that can drain water quickly and can dry quickly. Right. Because you never know when you're going to be hiking through water in this trail. Also, you want shoes that are not too big but also not too small. I've experienced both ends of the spectrum there, where I had shoes that were too small and they cramped my foot and caused blisters. Then I had shoes that were too big because I thought my feet would expand more, and my foot just ended up kind of sliding in the shoe, and it allowed more sand to get in, causing blisters again. So I just couldn't win there. And for clothing when hiking the Florida Trail, make sure you have a sun hoodie in your arsenal of clothing. That'll definitely protect you from the sun. I wore that almost on every single hike. Always take advantage of the water caches that you see, especially if you're hiking during dry season down here in Florida. A lot of the places I thought where I could collect water just did not exist or were all dried up every time I got there, which was scary, right? Because you never knew when you're going to get the next water source. In regards to solo section hiking, it's like on its own. It's extremely difficult. It is way more logistically complex than I initially expected in regards to the planning, the transportation, the parking. Like, where can you find overnight parking, and how close can you park to the trail? It's a whole puzzle, and it was caused a lot of anxiety-ridden nights sometimes just trying to figure this thing out. And you have to do it a week in advance, right? Just to have everything scheduled and ready to go. Speaking of scheduling things, I quickly learned that scheduling an Uber ahead of time, especially in some remote sections of trail, was very reliable. Um, they always showed up and took me and drove me to where I needed to be. Because there is some, section of trail where there is no Uber activity because it's too remote, and also cell activity is limited. Actually, speaking of cell activity, I was able to receive decent cell reception for the majority of this trail so far, but there were certain sections like Big Cypress where it was very limited. And then in regards to planning logistics for your hiking, for your endpoint and start point, uh, obviously you don't want to do out and backs, right? Because then that's like double mileage. Plus the sections are just they're just too far where that wouldn't even make sense. You have to hike through. So the best bet is to park at your endpoint and then schedule an Uber or someone to take you to pick you up from your endpoint and then bring you to your start point. And then that way it's out of the way for the first thing. That way you don't have to worry about it for the rest of your hike. All you have to do is worry about getting yourself from your start point back to your endpoint where your car is parked. All right, so this eliminates the stress of hitting a pickup time or waiting around if you finish early. I'll be back on the Florida Trail once life, logistics, and weather line up again. Now, moving forward with this channel, I'll be documenting my outdoor and travel goals, as well as some other goals here, but most of them are kind of outdoor and travel related. And next up is something a little bit different. It's my backpacking trip through Southeast Asia, which I actually completed back in December. And I'm finally getting around to editing and uploading that. So next time you see me, I'll be in Thailand. So thanks for following along, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.